Ah, okay.
Good.
Wow. If anyone is wondering why we're laughing, we started the podcast or this webinar and we forgot to hit the record button.
We're having a great time and conversation.
Anyway, Elisa, so we were talking about Soleil water and its health benefits. So yes, let's explain what Soleil water is because of you, I now use it here, and
Mhm.
I use it when I sweat and when I work out, which is practically every day because of living in Nicaragua at the moment. But you're in Whistler, and you were just sharing that this is part of your diet. So please take it from there.
So, okay, I'll explain what it is and then I'll explain how I use it. Okay, I take a rock salt. This is a Himalayan rock salt. It's like pure rock. And you put this in a jar of water and you cap the jar. Now you fill it with a high quality water. So you want something like filtered and probably a little bit remineralized if you're using it as osmosis based filtration system, or just buy something like Fiji water. If you're, in a pinch, just grab that. Cap it, you leave it for 24 hours. After that, the solution will be saturated. So a saturated solution is where there's no more minerals dissolving into the water and there's no more water going into the minerals. So it's equals, reached equilibrium. And that's what you want. So you scoop out, if there's any rock salt left, scoop it out, put it in a plastic bag because it is a rock salt. It's not going to go bad. And you use it then when you finish with the jar. Then you take 1/10 of that solution. You can shake it if you want, because usually I leave it kind of on a shelf and in the mornings I grab it. So you can give it like a little shake.
But you wouldn't
Um,
even need to shake it, as you mentioned, because it's reached equilibrium where
right.
no more salt can
No,
melt, so to speak. Okay, gotcha.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's not something needed. It's just I'm usually doing a billion things in the morning, so I'm like, yeah, okay. So you put 1/10 in a glass with 9 parts water. And then you drink it. And what that does is that hydrates your cells. We drink water all day long. And if the water's not getting into our cells, we're peeing out the water. So we're like, oh, I drank 6 glasses of water. I shouldn't be dehydrated. Yet,
Mm.
if the water is not getting inside the cell, you're still dehydrated. Magnesium is one of the key minerals that actually attaches to the water molecule, and it attaches to the membrane of the cell and it lets water in. It acts as a carrier molecule.
Mm.
And then the water gets into your cell, and that's when you're hydrated. It's not in your body, it's inside your cell. So a lot of people who are drinking lots and they're like, I don't know why I should be hydrated. I drink lots every day. If you are not getting enough mineral salts, and I'm not talking the sodium, that's one mineral of 84 of what we need. And the problem with table salt is that it's been refined. So most of the minerals have been refined out of it. So a Himalayan salt, or as you said earlier, a Celtic sea salt, the minerals are in it. So by taking this water in the morning, it starts out hydrating. Your water's getting inside your cell in the morning. And it's a great way to start your day. So my kids get it. I get it when they get up. I'm making breakfast. They get a glass of Himalayan salt water put right next to the breakfast.
Gotcha.
And they've been drinking that since they've been babies.
Wow. And so, how about for you when you're skiing up in Whistler? I mean, you get thirsty. Do you bring like a container of water with sea salt in it,
I
or?
don't actually know, because if you're skiing, like the weight, if you're skiing and you need a backpack, you're kind of backcountry and you're
Mhm.
more concerned with having avalanche tools.
That's right. You're not worried about your cells being
No,
hydrated.
at that point, no, you just get some snow and you melt in whatever minerals is in that snow is what you're getting that day. Um, but what I do is before I go skiing, I have it first thing in the morning and I drink that as I do, but I do that every day. Exercise, no exercise. That is something I do religiously every single morning. And I've done this for like 20 odd years now.
Gotcha.
So it's just part of my routine. Um, so if I feel like, yeah, I'm being a bit dehydrated, yet use it later in the day. If for some reason you're not somewhere and you need it, the next best thing is, okay, I can do this now, I can show you. This is Celtic sea salt. And this is like, it's not fine grained in a salt shaker, but it's pretty fine. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah,
It's
that's,
pretty,
but it's coarse. Would that be considered coarse salt?
yeah, it's a little bit coarse. It's like medium coarse.
Okay.
So what I would do with that, if I'm worried about dehydration, put a little bit in a baggie. Now watch this. I put it on my tongue. See that? And I'm gonna take a mouthful of water.
Okay.
So because it has some minerals in it, that little bit will dissolve. And it's a great thing. So if you're going on a big hike and you don't want to carry too much of anything, take a few strands of that, and
Okay.
that'll make sure the water you are drinking will get into your cells.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
which one do you like better, Celtic or Himalayan? Because I Googled it and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I can't remember which one had the edge, but they were people were saying they're pretty much, you know,
They're
equal.
pretty equal, I will be honest. I've looked at both, and sometimes you'll find literature says this one's a little better or that one's a little bit better, and different, health experts will say different things. They're pretty well equal. I like this because I can get it in a rock salt, and I've used Himalayan salt for years. If I want a dish to give that nice salty taste, I will actually use Celtic sea salt because it got a bit more of a salty taste and more of a sea salt taste. I'm from Newfoundland, so I'm used to the
Mhm.
ocean. So I want that, like if I'm for my kids, I make like peanut butter cups or almond butter cups from scratch. I
Mhm.
will sprinkle this on top of chocolate and it's
Ah,
amazing.
okay. Gotcha.
So I tell people, look, get both, experiment, find what you like, because if you like one more than the other, you're more likely to use it.
Gotcha. And what if you don't have whatever? Say you do have Himalayan sea salt at home, but you don't have the rock. Can you just make a Soleil
You
water?
can, you can actually. It takes a little bit more dissolving because where it's already been ground down, then you got a whole bunch of little surface areas, but it
Okay.
still works, right? So I'd say instead of 24 hours, give it say 27 hours.
But if even if you let it soak for however
Oh, you can let it soak
long,
for 3 days. Once it's
yeah,
saturated,
yeah,
saturated.
because if you still have salt at the bottom, it means you have Soleil water,
Right.
right?
Right.
And
Right.
because no more salt can be
Yeah.
what's the word, dissolved into the
Right.
liquid. Yeah, okay, perfect. Um, and so for me, when I'm trading, as I mentioned, well, in the video we were recording that we thought we were recording. When I'm trading, right, I need to be in the zone. And so I don't eat anything. I'm always on an empty stomach because you gotta, you're in the zone for like an hour, up to an hour. And that's why I always say you don't want to be scalping the markets for more than an hour at a time. So I
Mhm.
meditate, I drink water, but I never thought of putting the Soleil water or add it to my drinking water. I'm going to start doing that now because we do have Soleil water here,
Yeah.
but I was taking it more as, oh, when I'm sweating, I need to have it. But what you're saying is that for your cells, to have maximum absorption of that
Yeah.
water, that's where the Soleil, and on top of that, you have all these amazing minerals. I think it was like 72 minerals or
84.
84 minerals that you need in the
Yeah.
body. And it's funny because I don't have as much aches and pains now compared to all when I wasn't doing all these health hacks. And I'm
Hmm.
61, right? And to be able to go through life like this, and sorry, I mean I do get aches and pains when I get my ass handed to me when I'm kickboxing or when I'm weight training and my form is off. But and even when that happens, before it would, it would put me out for weeks or sometimes even months. Now it's like, 1 or 2 days. And it's because I'm convinced because of the minerals that are
Yeah.
in the body. And I was always, and that's why I mentioned to you, I find health is, it's a lifelong journey. It's not something you learn today and you're like, okay, I have it all. No
No,
way. It
not a
evolves.
one.
Yeah, because like even with salt and fat, right, on your Facebook post, right?
Yep.
And I hope everyone follows you on Facebook because and like I said, I don't agree with everything you put out there, but you're not going to agree with everyone, but I've learned so much with the salt and the fat, for instance, and especially with my teeth. That was the one thing, I can't believe that, it took me this long to realize that fat plays a part in your teeth, like healthy fat. I mean, if you're a vegan, make sure you're getting the olive oil and whatever else. If you're a carnivore, then, make sure
Go
it's grass fed.
get butter and the tallow
Yeah, there you go. Right.
and the meat.
And
Yeah.
exactly. But getting back to the trading, I mean, that's great to know, because being hydrated is extremely important when you're in the zone and you have to make a decision to jump into a trade or not. If you're not properly hydrated, that fear and greed, it's going to be magnified. Everything else, or everything gets magnified, right? So so that's awesome. Speaking of trading and being in the zone and being at peace, any other health hacks you can think of first thing in the morning before you hit the markets to trade?
One thing actually I've noticed is my son, my middle son, he was always, Mom, I got a little bit of cramps, and he was always, when he was in a new situation for testing, he always tested terrible. But I knew he knew the stuff. The schools would know he knew the stuff. But if it was a brand new school, brand new grade, or something unfamiliar, his testing just went off a cliff. And I just took it as, because the thing about being in the health field, you either, with your children, and it's like this with almost everybody, you're over attentive and they get all the supplements, or you're like, oh, you're going to be fine, and they get nothing.
Mm.
And so sometimes I tend towards the nothing and say, oh, you're going to be fine. That's okay. It's just your personality. You'll mature into it, relax. And then it was a couple of weeks ago, actually, something clicked. And I said, you know what? I said, magnesium for you, I think, is a challenge. I think for whatever's going on, I have a magnificent diet. So for my kids to not be lacking in something, I'm just like, I don't know how I could get that in.
Mm.
Because I cook organic, everything is, wild, wild,
Grass fed.
grass fed, full shebang. So I started looking at different forms of magnesium, and I've supplemented his diet with some magnesium, and what a difference it made in his testing ability in new situations. And I'm assuming that would be like trading, because he's going into a test, he has to be focused, and then anxiety will come up. And it really, really calms it. And the thing is, like, one of the symptoms of low magnesium is actually anxiety or nervousness. I hate the word anxiety because it has medical connotations. And a lot of times it's nervousness, because we don't seem to want to run to a doctor and get a medication if we're feeling nervous. So I'd rather use that term. But if you're low in magnesium, you will feel more nervous and less centered. So, like, one of the products I like is Ease Magnesium. It's a magnesium tetrahydrate. And magnesium, when it goes into our stomach, the stomach acid, and we want good, strong stomach acid. One of the problems with good, strong stomach acid, it degrades most magnesium. So it's only a small percentage getting into your body. Now, when you need it, small is way better than none.
I want to show you. Can I show you what I use quickly and tell me what you think? Hang on.
Yep.
I love this free medical advice from you. Or not medical. I love this free natural health advice from you. Okay. So this is what I use. CanPrev.
Bioglycerine.
By bisglycerine.
Actually, that is the best form for nervousness there is. It's a nervous system tonic. So if you need to be more centered and less jumpy to outside stimuli, that's really good.
Okay.
Now the thing is, with magnesium that we take through our stomach, it's like I said, it's a nervous system. It's relaxed. It's great for muscles, because when I ski, yesterday I skied, and I put out posts saying how great the skiing was, and then in the afternoon I went up Glacier Chair, and it was ice from the peak down to the bottom. So a little bit tense by the time you get to the bottom. And I needed some magnesium because the muscles were just, they were screaming. The thing is, though, our intestines are also a muscle. Small and large intestine are also a muscle. So when you take in too much magnesium through stomach, it can tend to relax the large intestine, which means a lot of things can be running through you. So you have to balance that. So usually I tell people like you, I would say you could probably take 400 milligrams at a time, because so much is going to but I wouldn't do more than 400 milligrams. So for you, if you're going into zone, try, like I said, try the Himalayan salt, maybe do a 200 to 400 milligrams before you trade, because that's a good one.
So do it just, so you're saying like half an hour before you trade, take
An hour, 1
an
hour,
hour. Okay, take the, okay, magnesium.
like
Okay, gotcha.
one into your system. And then, like I said, now I'm talking like you're probably not magnesium deficient, so I'd only do once a day. If
Okay.
someone's magnesium deficient, I would try to get another 200 somewhere later in the day. Or the other solution, what I do with my son is I say to him, okay, before you go to school, I'm giving you 400 milligrams, okay, of the exact same product you have there. And he gets it with his Himalayan salt water in the morning, just swallow it and go to school.
And I
And
just
then
want to say something, just to be
yep,
clear. By the way, for those of you listening, we are not giving medical advice here. If
yep,
that's what you're looking for, go get a doctor. Okay.
yes.
So keep that in mind. Sorry, go
Yeah,
on, Lisa.
yeah, thank you for that. And then in the evenings, I say to him, I use the Ease product, which is a magnesium tetrahydrate. The best way to absorb magnesium into your body is transdermal through the skin. Okay, because there's no stomach acid to degrade it. It's going straight into your system where you want it. And that's an amazing product. And I say to him, 15, 20 sprays, kind of on your trunk, legs, arms, neck, because I want the magnesium in our system. There's so much external stimuli that, and we're feeling stressed. We had COVID, we have so many other things on the go that, our body is feeling stressed. And when your body is stressed, it goes through magnesium like candy.
Interesting.
It cannot get enough. It just burns through the magnesium when you're stressed. And I think
So are you
most people,
talking mental stress or physical stress or both?
both, but mental stress will burn it up, right? Like
Wow.
a physical, you get to feel it because you can feel your muscles are aching, they're sore, they're stiff. And so, okay, I could use some magnesium to relax it, right? So most people get an Epsom salt bath right after a good workout or something. That's getting the magnesium. And because it's transdermal, so they get into the bath, it goes straight into the skin, into the muscles.
So
And it works.
Epsom salt has magnesium. Is that
Oh,
what?
yeah. Yes. Yep. That's
Okay.
what most people use Epsom salts for. That's why they get into. And yeah, so, and you'd hear people like, I think back in the 50s or 60s, when they wanted to clear out someone's system, they would dissolve Epsom salts in water, make them drink it because the magnesium is a relaxant. Their large intestine is flushing everything through at that point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. So before magnesium supplements, people use Epsom salts. They throw them in baths. And I still use it because if I come out a hard day skiing, there's nothing relaxing than warm water. And I throw a ton of these Epsom salts in. I'm
Yeah.
not doing a cup, I'm doing like 4 cups. Like throw
Yeah.
it in.
Ex-
Trying to get a saturated solution in the bathtub going on. So these days with people, I think people are tense anyway. Either you're traumatized by COVID because you're afraid of getting sick, or you're traumatized because you believe that the government was taking away your rights. Every end was getting stressed. And so our magnesium stores is going down, down, down. Everything we take in is being used. So most people I think are deficient and they don't even know it.
Yeah, gotcha.
But
Well,
and I
this is great because for my students, one of the things I'm always telling them is that, listen, I can teach you to trade, but if you don't take care of your health, forget it. I mean, health is everything because, like I said, you have to be able to focus and concentrate when you're about to get into that trade because there's thousands of dollars at risk here. You're either going to make it or you're going to lose it. So sorry, I interrupted you.
But that's a great thing because that's what you need the magnesium for. So it keeps you kind of more. Like I said, it feeds the nervous system. It's a nervous system tonic. So you're resetting to where you should be when you have full stores of magnesium. Low stores, you're nervous, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, I've always been nervous, or I've always had anxiety." And I'm like, "Has anyone checked your magnesium?" And the thing is, I used to be a big fan of testing, and I've kind of gotten away from that because when we see blood levels of something, that can be fine. Like we can show blood levels and I could look perfectly hydrated. I need cellular levels, and we don't have the testing yet to show what's in our cells. And for it to be working for us, it has to be in our cells. So,
Interesting.
so a lot of people could say, well, I test magnesium and I test it fine. It's like, okay, well, your blood is showing fine. I need someone to test me to show me your muscle fiber. Is it in there?
How do you
And
do
things like
that?
I don't think the testing exists right now to be able
Oh,
to
actually,
really test what's inside of a cell.
okay, yeah, you just mentioned that. Okay, gotcha. So the best way to get around it is just to make sure it's part of your daily regimen.
Right. And the other thing is you will always like someone would have to be insanely almost on death's door to test low magnesium. The reason why is that the heart is a muscle, okay? And the body will take magnesium from every other part to keep it in the blood so the heart has its
Mm.
needed store of magnesium.
Wow.
So your nervous system will be sacrificed for the heart. And so you can do a blood test and go, oh, your magnesium levels are fine. No, that's your blood magnesium levels. And if your blood magnesium levels go low, you are just about to die because your heart doesn't have magnesium it needs because it is a muscle.
That is so interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, so I don't look at some certain tests. I'm like, no, the test is not telling me what I need to know.
Okay, all right. Well, this is going to be my new best friend. I mean, it always was, but after that
Yeah.
explanation, wow. Okay. And anything else in your bag of tricks for us traders?
The other thing is, and I found it good. I heard about it years ago because everyone's heard of lithium. And lithium probably in the 50s when they give it to bipolar people and they're mega dosing lithium, like 150 milligrams, 300 milligrams, 500 milligrams, 800 milligrams. This is massive amounts of lithium. And if you take massive amounts of lithium, you kind of turn into a zombie. Like you're not getting no reaction out of people because it's kind of slows things down. I've looked recently at micro dosing of lithium. I'm
So are
talking
you
five
talking lithium, like a lithium
lithium
battery?
or
Is it the
yeah,
same?
lithium oronate. It's another mineral,
Okay.
oronate.
Is
Uh,
there a connection to like how they make a lithium battery? Is that the same lithium or
I would have to look more, but like we only got so many minerals. So
okay.
I'm assuming like lithium oronate, it's a form of lithium
Okay.
because it's oronate. But yeah, I'm assuming like they're from the same rock family.
Yeah, I've never heard this before. Okay, so go on. Sorry.
So usually it was traditionally used for, like I said, people who were bipolar. They would give them, or in manic states, they would give them large doses of lithium, and it would take them down, but it would take them too far down. And so it got kind of a bad name. So in the last few years, lithium oronate in micro doses has been getting some good research, some good press. And so I start looking at it. Like I said, I looked at the 5 milligram dose. You can get it also in 10 milligrams. Like I said, body weight, maybe 10 might work better for men. I'm a female, so I go with the lower. And someone had said to me once, they said, you ever get in a place where you get these ruminating thoughts and you just can't break the pattern of thought. And you're really trying, and you're in a cycle, right? Hamster on a wheel. And they said, if you do like 5 milligrams of lithium, that's enough to break the cycle. And I went, really? And I said, okay, well, I've experienced that time to time, so I'm going to give this a try. Because anything I tell people to do, I've taken myself. I won't just, So you know what I did? And I went, wow, this is actually really effective. And like I said, it's not something I would say take every day. But if you're going into a trading situation and you got something on your mind, maybe it's your relationship, maybe it's your car broke down or something, and you're in a hamster wheel and you cannot get that pattern to stop so you can shift into something else, lithium oronate is really, really good at doing that.
Wow,
It's
I've never heard of this, and it's good at getting rid of your buzz if you've had too much weed.
yeah. Take it in.
Anyway, I'm definitely gonna get that. That's amazing. I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, and like I said, it's really good. And so like I've had some people come to me and like I said, they're in just in a life circumstance where they're ruminating over a set of thoughts as like, and I've been there. Like, I think we all have where we ruminate and we worry about something and we're like, oh, and it's the likelihood of happening is probably like 0.0001%, but it's taken 80% of your mental energy. And I said, listen, just take this. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, just seriously. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that I realized that's not as important as I thought it was, and it just takes you out of it.
Yeah, that's an important one. That's really important. Any brand you recommend? Because I'm gonna go and order this like
Yeah,
right
I've
now.
ordered it. Actually, let me find it now. Actually I got it here now. I might be able to haul it off Amazon pretty quick. There's one I get from Amazon.com. I don't think you can order the stuff in Canada, but it does ship to Canada and you can get it
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Just find it. Lithium Orotate. Yep, this is it. It's not expensive. I mean, this is 20 milligrams. So I'm looking for the 5 milligram of this one. Here we go. Lithium Orotate. Okay, let's see if I can pull that up for you guys. Here it is. This is the 5 milligram. It's literally $13, $13.99 US.
Okay,
Here you go.
okay, perfect.
And yeah. And yeah. So, but it's really, really good. I think we're discovering a lot of pharmaceuticals because I don't believe anything is all good or all bad. There's not like, because, when you start getting into natural health, the tendency for a lot of people is to go, oh, well, all what I'm like, Western medicine is bad. I'm like, no, like if I'm hit by a car, I want the trauma room ready with the trauma surgeons. They're
That's
absolutely brilliant in acute and emergency care.
yeah,
Like they're off the chart. No one can compare to them. That's their brilliant. But when they get into wellness, they fall off the cliff.
yeah, yeah. No, exactly. I've always said it as well. I am not against doctors. You need a good doctor and you need a good
Yeah,
natural health
yeah,
practitioner or a couple of good natural health
yes.
practitioners, right? And yeah, I've always said that if I end up with a big cut, I'm not going to call you and say, "Hey, Lisa, what do I do?" You'll say, "Fuck off and get to the doctor."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'll not restitch the cut and close the artery. Not doing it.
Anyway, well, I really appreciate this, Lisa, and I definitely want to do more videos like this with you because you're a wealth of knowledge. Are you back practicing or
Yeah,
like you are? Okay, good. What do
yes.
you what's like what's where did you
Okay,
go to school?
so
Like what's yeah, I
what
forgot
do
to
I
ask you.
do?
Yeah.
I have a varied background. I have a Bachelor of Science, Behavioral Neuroscience, and I have two business degrees, just BBA and MBA. So I went in the business world for a while. Then I was always into health. Then I started doing a health program called Halkins. It's HEILKUNST. And it's just basically it's German for the natural art of healing. And that like, I went through homeopathy and some herbals and, obviously minerals and, we do a whole hodgepodge of a bunch of things. And of course, I've been doing my own research for years. So I kind of refer to myself as kind of a health coach because I'm really good at a bunch of things and one of my good things are I'm able to see what people need. Like someone had come to me a couple of weeks ago and she's like, my back is really, really off. And it's this, this, and this. I'm no chiropractor, but I know functional chiropractic and I know regular chiropractic. And I know well. And I said, actually, you need a functional chiropractor for this, not a regular one. I said, and here's the name of a really good functional chiropractor. So I'm really good at looking at overall health and giving you really good suggestions. So I kind of go by health coach because I'm really great on diet too.
Mhm.
So, but my training was in Hawkins.
Okay, gotcha. And do you take people like over the phone or online or anything like that?
Yeah, I do. I do a lot of Zoom. That was one of the blessings that came out of COVID was, and I started the Zoom actually before COVID. I was just doing FaceTime calls because a lot of my clients are all over Canada, and I moved to Whistler. So yeah, so people can, contact me through email. We can set up an appointment, a consultation, and talk about your health, talk about your diet, things like that, and go
Where
from there.
where can, where can they reach you? You want to give them that
Okay, yeah,
information
I'm gonna
now?
give my email. So it's
Okay.
Power Lisa, POWERLISA 45 at gmail.com.
I'll put it in the link as well. So send me that when once we're done with
Yep.
this webinar. And
Yeah.
perfect. Listen, I really, really appreciate this. Like I said, every time I'm around you, I get so much knowledge and I've become healthier because of you. and I can't wait to do more of these. And I still think you should have your own show called Ask Lisa.
I'm
I'm
really health. I'm sucky at anything technical, so that's why. I
got it.
rely on you for that.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll figure that out. But thank you so much, Lisa. Send me that information and give the family a big hug and kiss. We miss you guys.
Oh, we
And
miss you too.
yeah, thanks, Lisa. And we'll be in touch, okay?
Okay, bye
Okay,
bye.
take care. Bye bye.